Lisa Summers, and Wendy Winter. Your dedication, thoughtful planning, Friday evening Zoom meetings, late night emails, and your willingness to hold both the emotional and practical pieces of this event made today possible. Thank you for giving your time, your hearts, and your steady hands to this milestone. 11 years ago, the unthinkable happened. We lost our oldest son, Donnie, to an opioid overdose at the age of 32. That loss changed everything. I had my faith and my family around me, but I was in a fog. And it is from that place that S.O.U.L's story begins. Beth Kane Davidson and Mary Elsa Bernard had the idea for a group that would provide a safe place for mothers who lost a child to substance use disorder or overdose to share our grief. They brought together 5 grieving mothers: Mary Elsa, Renee Benzel, Jill Bloomberg, Jimena DeChant, and me. Beth opened her office and her heart to us when we didn't know where to go. She invited us into her space and helped us find a way forward when grieving felt impossible. She continued to mentor us and guide us as our group grew. Beth's generosity and steady presence helped us take our very first steps. What began as a small circle of heartbreak became the beginning of a community that has carried us through a decade of Tuesdays, a decade of memories, and a decade of walking beside each other. Jill, Mary Elsa, Renee, Jimena, and Beth, please stand. From that moment on, if it was Tuesday evening, we were meeting. 2 hours every week became sacred time for our growing circle, a place to speak our children's names, to steady one another, and to keep going together. We also wanted to take a moment to recognize some special people who could not be with us today, but who have played an important role in supporting S.O.U.L over the years. Tom Raffa, Tony Raffa, and Greg Petrosevic from Companies for Causes has walked alongside us from the beginning. Through Jimena's connection with her former employer, we were able to establish a fiscal sponsorship with their nonprofit, and Companies for Causes has generously provided us with our nonprofit status ever since. Their support has allowed us to grow, to serve more families, and to keep this community strong. Their generosity will also provide us with a platform for fundraising, enabling us to build a memorial site to honor the children who have brought us together. Finally, I would like to thank the sponsors of this event. We are deeply grateful to the families, organizations, and partners whose generosity has helped make the 10-year commemoration possible. I would just like to introduce our sustaining sponsors and remembrance sponsors. Companies for Causes, who's not here. The Tunador family. Stand up. Thank you. Christiana would not be met with silence, where we could find connection in the midst of heartbreak. What started as a handful of women gathering in shared sorrow has grown into a community that spans a decade of stories, friendships, and sacred moments. We've walked together through anniversaries and milestones, through seasons of deep pain and seasons of unexpected light. We have held one another up when the weight felt too heavy. We have listened, cried, laughed, and remembered, searching for a way to make sense of this unimaginable loss. In those early days, a simple group text among the 5 of us helped us survive holidays, birthdays, and anniversaries. As the group grew, these texts eventually became a WhatsApp thread that keeps us connected through every kind of day. I still can't fully describe the magic of this group. Moms helping moms in the most honest, tender ways. One of the moments I love most is when a mom is questioning herself, wondering if she should have done more. Then another mom gently reassures her that she did everything she could. One mom says, maybe if my daughter had gone to college, and the mom beside her says, my daughter went to college. Or maybe if my son had gone to jail, and the mom beside her says, my son went to jail. In those moments, shame dissolves and compassion takes its place. S.O.U.L has never been just a group. It has been a lifeline, a circle of mothers who understand one another in a way no one else can. A place where our children's memories are honored, protected, and kept alive. 10 years later, we stand here not only because of our grief, but because of our love. Love for our children and love for one another. I recently saw a meme that said, not until you've lost a child do you know how it feels to be sad every single day, even when you experience joy. We talk about this all the time. New moms often come to us believing they will never feel joy again, that the light has gone out forever. And then, as time passes, many of us feel guilty when moments of joy begin to return. But if we're lucky, we come to understand that joy doesn't disappear from our lives. It changes. It becomes something more complicated and more tender. In every happy moment, we feel two things at the same time, grief and joy. With every celebration, every milestone, every special event, there is a sharp awareness of who is missing. But together, we help each other understand that it is possible to feel genuine happiness while still carrying the ache of absence. We remind each other that joy and grief can coexist, and that allowing joy back into our lives does not diminish our love for our children. It honors them. There's someone among us who has quietly, faithfully, and brilliantly shaped the way S.O.U.L communicates, organizes, and stays connected. Catherine Bouchard. For 10 years, Catherine has been our communications wizard, our behind-the-scenes anchor, the one who makes sure every message is clear, every detail is correct, and every mother feels informed, included, and cared for. Catherine, your work has been the invisible thread holding so much of this community together. Your dedication has allowed S.O.U.L to grow, to stay organized, and to reach mothers who needed us at exactly the right moment. Today, we want to honor you with our deepest gratitude and present you with a small gift as a symbol of the enormous appreciation we feel. Thank you for 10 years of unwavering service. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce our next presenters, Elena Suarez and Wendy Winter. Along with Catherine, they have worked tirelessly over the past year to create something truly special, a cookbook filled with recipes, memories, and love from across the S.O.U.L community. This project has been a labor of heart, a way of weaving together the stories and flavors that have nourished us, literally and figuratively, over the years. Please join me in welcoming Elena and Wendy.
Good afternoon. I'm really delighted to finally be able to launch our cookbook. Before I begin, I just wanted to say how grateful I am to S.O.U.L. I don't know what I would have done without my S.O.U.L moms in the last 6 years since I lost my precious Colette. And I especially want to thank Roxanne, our leader. Thanks to you, Roxanne, S.O.U.L has not only survived, but it has thrived. And that's because you take care of all of us. I don't know how she does it. She knows every detail about all our lives. You should have been a minister. But we love you and we're extremely grateful. I also want to thank Wendy and Catherine. I think we can say we've been partners in crime for quite a while. And thanks to them and their work and their commitment, the cookbook finally became a reality. But in general, I want to thank all the S.O.U.L moms. For me, S.O.U.L is a sisterhood, a very special one. Unfortunately, nobody wants to be part of this club, as we always say, but we're here. And so, as Roxanne said, we come together, we hold each other up, we support each other, we love each other. And for me, most importantly, together, we learn to reinvest in life again. For ourselves, for our families, but especially for our children that are no longer here, because that's what they would want for all of us. And that's what I try to remember every day, right? So very briefly, I am going to share some thoughts on the cookbook and how it came together. This cookbook, as you know, is dedicated to our children and others who have passed away due to substance use disorder. The idea for this cookbook was born out of a S.O.U.L annual meeting about 2 years ago. We were brainstorming on ways to raise funds for S.O.U.L. Wendy Winter, a S.O.U.L mom, whom you will hear from next, came up with a beautiful idea of producing a cookbook featuring our children's favorite recipes. It was such a simple but powerful thought to gather the meals we once lovingly prepared for our children and to turn those memories into something tangible and lasting. This cookbook serves 3 purposes. First, as I already explained, it was a fundraiser. Second, this cookbook honors our children. And it also, third, serves as an awareness-raising tool. Another way for S.O.U.L moms to use our voices, to educate, advocate, and help prevent other families from experiencing this unimaginable loss. For the past decade, S.O.U.L moms have shared our stories in schools, treatment programs, town hall meetings, community-based organizations, and many other platforms and venues. We work for better understanding, prevention, and treatment of substance use disorder. We communicate regularly with the media. We have also supported policies and legislative action at the local and national levels to address the opioid epidemic. Some of us have even advocating before the Maryland Congress, and a delegation of S.O.U.L moms around about 2 years ago, we started our first lobbying efforts on Capitol Hill. So I hope you heard that, Mr. Trone, when you're back on the Hill, and you need some support, you know where to find us. Okay. As described in the preface of the cookbook, it was important to us that it carry the key messages that form part of our awareness-raising efforts. And very quickly, for instance, first, promote an understanding, have compassion for people with substance use disorder. We must move beyond the stigma, shame, and isolation so that loved ones can get the help they need. Next, that addiction is a chronic disease of the brain, not a moral failing. People turn to substances because they are suffering, because of many factors, including trauma, mental health, peer pressure, identity struggles, and many other factors. We also urge parents to talk openly with their adolescents and teenagers about the dangers of substance use. We know that everything today is laced with fentanyl and contaminants. And even, a very important message, experimentation can cost a young person or anybody's life. Lastly, to grieving parents, we share that we all loved our children. We all did the best we could with the information that we had at that time. We hope that by sharing these recipes, our stories, and our pictures, we shed light on substance use disorder while also treasuring our memories for generations to come. For us, the recipes in this book evoke memories, as I said earlier, of cooking together, sharing family time, celebrating special moments. They laughed in our kitchens, they stood on chairs to stir the batter for the cookies, they asked for seconds and celebrated holidays around our table. To conclude, this cookbook was created to honor our children and others that were gone too soon. Despite their substance use disorder, they were once happy and healthy children. Their addiction does not define them. This cookbook reminds us and shows the world who they truly were. Their beautiful memories now live on in print forever. May food from the soul nourish not only your heart, your body, but also your heart. And may it remind us all that love endures, memory is powerful, and together we can turn unimaginable loss into purpose and hope. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Wendy Winter, and I hope that some of you have had a chance to taste some of the dishes that the moms so generously brought in today. They are from recipes that are in the cookbook. I'm pleased to just share a few highlights of the cookbook, especially for those of you who haven't seen it yet. We have them for sale in the back of the room. This is what it looks like. People waving their hands are my family. Thank you for being back there. There are about 80 recipes in this cookbook, and they reflect the diversity of the families who contributed and include food from around the world, such as Cuba, Europe, Poland, the U.S., Haiti, and different religions and ethnicities. Sadly, this is reflective of the problem in that overdoses are both a national and a global issue, no matter which communities you are a part of and from. So let's move on to the actual cookbook. The table of contents includes the following sections for meals: breakfast, appetizer, entrees, and desserts. Much appreciation goes out to those moms who contributed their children's favorite recipes or those special to the family. Contributors include, of course, S.O.U.L moms, and some who are part of other organizations that support families through the grieving journey and advocate to prevent substance use and overdoses. They are the Trail of Truth and Living Through Loss. Special thanks also to our editor, Marcus Alonso, our intern, Hannah Bush, and Diane Bach for her culinary advice. Diane, I don't know where there you are. Thank you. Hats off also to the project team, Elena Suarez, our editorial coordinator, Catherine Beauchart, who's in the front here, Roxanne Wood, and I was also part, so thank you. Let's take a look at a few recipes. Each recipe includes a picture of the child, the ingredients and steps for preparing the recipe, and a sweet anecdote. Next slide, please. Okay, so that's the cover of the cookbook, and then what's on the back as well. I can't even read that from here, so I wouldn't dare try and read it. Next slide, please. So here's one of the recipes I wanted to highlight. It's called Brunch Egg Bake, and that is a picture of Nick. And you probably can't really see in detail all the ingredients or steps, so I just wanted to read the anecdote, because to me that's really the sweetest part of each recipe. No matter where our son Nick was living or what his sober condition was, we always had Sunday brunch with Nick. He knew he could depend on that, and we could depend on seeing him and sharing our lives. We hoped that not giving up on Nick's recovery would keep him safe, but unfortunately, Nick died of an overdose at 22. We miss you. With love, your mom, Adrian. The next recipe that I want to highlight is paella a la Jonathan. There we go. There's a nice family photo there. And again, the recipe's there. Hang on, I gotta find the page. Thank you. That was from Christina. As a half Spaniard, paella was among Jonathan's favorite dishes. He cooked his first paella during one of his grandparents' visits to our home, and it was a big success. He had an exquisite palate and an amazing ability to mix anything in your pantry to create a delicious meal. With love, your mom, Christina. Christina's with us here today.
And the paella.
And the paella is in the back. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. Next recipe, please, or next slide. Should have bookmarked, please. This is Brownie Bear's Brownies, and that's a picture of Olivia. Olivia had a love for any type of sweet treat. She would have the whole pan of brownies devoured before you could get your second one, demonstrating her passion for all things sweet. She even named her dog Brownie, symbolizing the joy that sweetness brought her. She had a special bond with her fur babies and loved Brownie Bear, nurturing a sense of unconditional love. Olivia's smile, laugh, hugs, and willingness to help others is missed by us all. With love, your mom, Maura. I just wanted to thank everyone who helped to make today a success, and specifically those that brought recipes and their foods in today. It's beautiful to see the cookbook actually published and the food items here today. We have extra cookbooks, as I mentioned, in the back for sale. And as Roxanne mentioned earlier, the proceeds will go towards a memorial that we're trying to create in honor of our children. So thank you very much, and I will turn it over.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kimberly Douglas, and I'm a S.O.U.L mom of about 2 years, a little over 2 years. I lost my son, Bryce Jackson, and I'm the founder of Bryce's Treehouse Incorporated. I have the distinct honor of introducing our guest speaker today, Congressman David Trone. Congressman Trone is a businessman and a former U.S. representative for Maryland's 6th Congressional District, where he served from 2019 to 2025. During his time in Congress, he made confronting the overdose crisis one of the central priorities of his public service. For Mr. Trone, this work is deeply personal. In 2016, his nephew died from an overdose involving fentanyl-laced heroin. That loss strengthened his commitment to pushing for real solutions rooted in prevention, treatment, recovery, and compassion for families and communities affected by substance use disorder. While serving in Congress, Congressman Trone co-chaired the bipartisan Addiction and Mental Health Task Force, bringing Democrats and Republicans together to advance evidence-based responses to addiction and overdose. He also served as co-chair of the U.S. Commission on Combating Synthetic Opioid Trafficking, helping lead national efforts to address the growing threat of fentanyl and other synthetic opioids and developing strategies to reduce overdose deaths. He supported bipartisan legislation such as the Improve Addiction Care Act, aimed at strengthening Medicaid's response to overdose survivors and expanding access to addiction treatment and recovery services. Beyond policymaking, Mr. Trone and his wife have also invested in advancing addiction and mental health research, including a $5 million gift to establish an endowed chair in addiction and mental health research at American University. treatment and prevention, he has been recognized nationally, including receiving the NAADAC Harold Hughes Activist of the Year Award from the Association of the Addiction Professionals. As we gather this afternoon to mark the 10th anniversary of S.O.U.L, our community built by families who understand this grief firsthand, we are grateful for leaders such as Congressman Trump, who has been able to continue to bring attention, compassion, and action to this crisis. Please put your hands together and join me in welcoming our esteemed guest speaker for this afternoon, Congressman David Trump.
Good afternoon, everybody. We really had some wonderful remarks and observations by Alina, Roxanne, and all the various S.O.U.L moms. And it's so important to remember that we've lost over 1 million people. It's an unbelievable number. Sons and daughters, moms and dads, wives and husbands. And yes, we are making progress. The numbers have dropped, as you know, to 88,000. If we heard that number, we'd be heartbroken just thinking of that number. And yet we're saying that's a better result than where we were before. So this issue is far from over. We have so much to do. And the way to do it and be successful is with the community working together. So I want to thank all the leaders, supporters here at S.O.U.L for doing such important work, and most importantly, sharing your stories. Our stories are what make us stronger. To that end, my work in addiction was really born out of tough times and tragedy. My father was an alcoholic, and I grew up in an abusive alcoholic home, dealing with that. Eventually that led to the bankruptcy and the loss of our home. So we realized quickly the disease carried severe repercussions. 2 of my children are in recovery. Each day, all good. But my nephew was the hardest blow of all. He was like a son to me. From residential treatment centers to detox, to mental health support, halfway houses, our family, myself, my wife, and his mom, Janice Trone, all worked tirelessly to try and come up with the best possible outcome. We spent over 5 years after his first arrest, and we realized that the 3 pieces are all so intertwined: the addiction, disease, the mental illness, the depression, and the justice impacted. He was arrested 5 times. They all are interconnected, and we have to treat them all together. But this disease is very powerful. Ian died on New Year's Eve, 2016. He was 24. That alone was heartbreaking. But I knew the best way we could honor his testimony was to try and turn, as you have, that grief into action. So I ran for Congress to try and work on addressing the addiction issue across the whole country. But I knew the best way to make change, this was going to be it, where we could work on a larger stage, because this disease is just so prevalent. Over that 6 years in Congress, we did make a difference. It had so much more running on. We launched, as I mentioned, the bipartisan mental health task force. I changed the name to add not just addiction, but mental health. But we worked also side by side on those that are justice impacted. We had 140 members of Congress. It's the biggest task force in Congress. We met on a regular basis. Speakers, ideas, brainstorming, not just members but staff, because the staff has so many folks also that have been affected. We did color Congress purple. We brought over 300 members each year onto the front of the steps to be drive awareness. In the 117th Congress alone, under President Biden, who I spoke with many times about this, because his son struggles with addiction mightily. His son struggled with mental illness mightily, and of course justice impacted. He was always an excellent supporter, always. 26 of our bills, 26, became law and was signed by the President. One of the boldest and most impactful was the passing of the State Opioid Response Grant Authorization Act. It was $8.75 billion to addiction over 5 years. Substance order across 50 states. Everything we did in our fight was bipartisan. I knew that I'd had my Democratic friends always on my side. So I focused to get things done, because that's the background I come from in business. How I could drive Republican commitment. Because without Republicans on the bill, we will never get through the Senate, because we need 60 votes. So you've got to have Republicans on your bill, or it's a fool's mission. So we worked on those, and of course, as we suspected, so much personal experience, so much personal failure by my Republican colleagues as they struggle with their children, their family members, their friends. So not just in Congress, but across the country. Because this disease, it does not discriminate, as we know, based on party, socioeconomic status, race, gender, or age. And nor should our response. We must all work together to end the stigma and to ensure that addiction is treated as a public health crisis, not a crime. Though no longer serving in Congress, my commitment continues. I'm running to go back into Congress and continue the war, continue the battle on addiction, mental illness, criminal justice, medical research, and we work to move hundreds of millions. I was on the Appropriation Committee into medical research from here up. That's what we have to get better at, not making a better need. I've got one of those, it's good, but making a work on the mental illness challenges, the addiction challenges that are so hard, so difficult. That was the young woman that led ARPA to where we went out of our way outside of NIH and tried new things and just encouraged her to fail, because we need failure to have success. Through failure we get the best ideas, so we need to drive that mindset. So we're going to continue on this mission. It's a lifelong mission. Through our Family Foundation, we'll also continue to support organizations all over the country and helping them access reduction, end the stigma. We were just up at Brooks' house last weekend with the ladies there that are in recovery. We worked with Kevin and Dana there since the building was first built. We worked with Suburban Hospital here for their addiction, mental illness ward. But really the key is all of you together. All of you raising your hand and maintaining the pain and the memory of what we've all had to deal with, but trying to move on, as Roxanne mentioned, a little bit, while holding on to everything that was there too. That combination together and a relentless resolution that we have to stay as a community to fix this. 1 million people. Imagine if that had died any other way. The country would be at war. That was what COVID was. 1 million people. And a response has not been commensurate as it was to COVID. So thank you, and thank you for your battle.
Congressman Trump, thank you for your powerful words and for your steadfast commitment to confronting one of the most urgent public health crises of our time. At this time, S.O.U.L has the privilege of presenting you with our very special Teddy Bear Award.
Right.
This small symbol carries profound meaning. The teddy bear represents our children, our families, and the generations whose futures depend on the actions we take. It reminds us that behind every statistic is a life, a loved one, and a community forever changed. On behalf of S.O.U.L and on behalf of the families and communities whose voices we carry forward, it is our great honor to present you with the S.O.U.L Special Teddy Bear Award.
Good afternoon. I'm Christiana Jager, and my husband Timur and I lost our Noah almost 3.5 years ago, and I am proud, well, I'm sad, but honored to be a S.O.U.L mom.
Hi, I'm Nina DeSandro. I'm a S.O.U.L mom. I lost my beautiful son Ian in 2022, at the age of 22.
So today, I have this lovely poem sent to me by the amazing Elena. And as a newer mom, I just want to say that I was very, very honored to be asked to read it to all of you. The title is Still Here. Mama, if you could see me now, you'd know I never really left. I am the hush between your breaths, the warmth that binds your hands when the night feels endless. I know the way my leaving shattered time, how days split into before and after. I know you replay every moment, wondering where love might have saved me sooner. But listen to me, your love was never missing. It was the only thing that held me as I crossed from pain into peace. Light this candle, Mama, not because I am gone, but because love still needs a flame. I am in every flicker that refuses to go out, every memory that makes you smile through tears, every time you say my name out loud, so the world doesn't forget I was here. I was more than my struggle, more than the way I died. I was laughter and stubborn dreams, and the way I leaned into you when life felt too heavy. Please remember that version of me and carry it with you always. To my family, when you gather tonight in this quiet glow, know that I am not lost in darkness. I am wrapped in love, the same love you are holding right now. Nothing can erase that. Mama, when the nights come and grief sits beside you like a shadow, place your hand over your heart. That ache you feel, that is still me. That is love with nowhere to go. I am forever your child. You are forever my home. And no matter how far my footsteps seem, love keeps us walking together. Thank you.
We are going to initiate the candlelight ceremony now in remembrance of beautiful children. Christiana, thank you for that beautiful poem. It will stay with us. Today, we gather in remembrance to honor our children, to honor their lives, and to honor the love that never ends. In a moment, one candle will be lit from this single flame. This light represents the love we carry for our children, a love that cannot be extinguished by loss, a love that continues to move from heart to heart. As the flame is shared around the room, we invite you to hold silence. Let this be a time for reflection, for memory, for love spoken without words. We will now begin lighting candles from the new flame. When your candle is lit, please turn slightly and share the flame with the person next to you. Please take your time and help one another so the light moves calmly and safely through the room in silence. Thank you. As we look around this room, we see many flames, but one shared light. Each candle represents a life deeply loved and a bond that remains unbroken. When you are ready, please take a quiet moment to say your child's or your loved one's name in your heart. And now together, we will gently blow out our candles, not to end the light, but to carry it with us beyond this room, because love does not go out, it lives on. I'm fortunate to be here today, and to provide some final remarks, I'd love to introduce Reverend Connie. Thank you.
On behalf of River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation, we welcome you into our home. We are honored by your presence. And I see everyone. We all have spoken our children's names, including my niece Melissa. We have held light, small, flickering, stubborn light, and said together, this child was here, this child was loved, this child is loved. There's something ancient in what we've just done. Human beings have carried light through darkness for as long as there has been grief. Not because the flame changes what has been lost, but because holding light together reminds us that we're not alone in the dark. You are not alone. None of you, none of us are alone. To every mother here who carried a name tonight, whether you spoke it aloud or held it quietly in your chest, you're not alone. To those who came carrying guilt or anger or questions that will never have satisfying answers, you're not alone. To those who came because someone they love is still in the grips of this disease, and the fear is its own kind of grief, you are not alone. 10 years ago, 5 mothers decided that no one should have to survive this in silence. What they built, what you all built together is this. A community that says, I will witness your loss. I will say your child's name. I will not let you disappear into your grief alone. And this is not a small thing. This is one of the most human things there is. These children, the children whom you have honored tonight, are not only in the past, they are in you, in the way you love, in the fierce advocacy that you carry in your names, in the recipes that you gathered, so that something as simple as a favorite meal can say to the world, this person existed, this person mattered, this person was known. Food from the soul. That cookbook is love made tangible. A decade of showing up for each other. That's love made durable. So as you go from this place tonight, may you carry your child's memory not as a weight that bends you, but as a presence that walks alongside you. May you find in the days ahead at least one moment of genuine rest. The kind that comes not from forgetting, but from knowing that you are held. May those of you who arrived here as strangers leave as people who recognize one another. And may you know, in whatever way feels true for you, that love never ends. It changes. It finds new forms. It moves through the world. It moves through each of us, always and forever. Go gently and take care of one another. Take care of one another. Please take care of one another. And remember, you are not alone. You are never alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Connie, for your beautiful closing reflection. We're so grateful for the care and compassion you shared with us today. A heartfelt thank you as well to our photographer, Phil, for capturing last evening and today with such care and attention. And thank you to each of you for being here. Your presence, your stories, and your love are what make this community what it is. Please continue to enjoy one another's company. Our reception will continue until 4:30. Thank you all, and have safe travels home.
Casey would have been so proud of all of these moms, all of these families. His birthday is St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday. It will be the 11th birthday that we celebrate and remember him without his presence. It's hard for me to imagine that it's been 11 years and that S.O.U.L has basically been my lifeline in the last 10 to 11 years, I know for many of us. I wanted to just share something, especially for the new moms. When I first lost Casey, of course, like many of us, we read so many books, looked for so many stories of people that had gone through this to understand how you could possibly survive your ultimate loss, and that this didn't even seem conceivable to us. And I remember reading very early in that first year a book by a mother who had lost her child, who, and the years have passed, and I've read this many times since, that really the loss of a child, it usually is at least 10 years. It takes a decade for it to pivot from that open wound where you have this gnawing, just unbearable pain that you carry day in and day out, and all you can think about is everything that was lost, everything that will never be, all the moments that should have been that are gone forever. And that pain and that loss, that sense of loss, begins to shift to gratitude for what you had. And you feel this incredible sense of blessing and grace that I know I had 25 years with my precious son. And today I live in that, and I want to give you that hope, because after 11 years, I think that shift does begin to happen. We always have that pain, and we carry them with us, but I have found joy and light and love and hope, and I hope that you will reach for that light always. But right now, I want to focus on this woman, okay? Renee lost her son. 3 weeks later, I lost mine, and about 3 weeks later, Roxanne lost hers. We all came to S.O.U.L with Mary Elsa and Jill and these moms, and we met and we held on to each other. And all of these moms have found ways to live what they carry, to express what they carry in that loss of their children in various ways. Every mom that has walked into the circle, every child that has been lost, she can tell you who they are. She knows their story. She carries them in her soul, and she takes them to church. Okay? So we are all here to just express our incredible love and gratitude for what I am going to name as Saint Roxanne, the patron saint of broken moms. And I want to know who else is with me.
Yeah!